Time to feed the trolls.
Season 2!
Hello, this is Cute Fuzzy Weasel, and it's time once again to feed the trolls. Now, as you have probably noticed by now, I'm standing. Well, that's all thanks to the brand new lighting setup. Yes, it finally arrived. Now, the only other thing I'm waiting on is a brand new green screen, because it's too pitted. Anyway, this episode is actually going to be a two-parter, because if I went through this guy's entire video, this episode would be around, 40 minutes long. And 40 minutes stretches out to be about 2 to 3 hours worth of shooting. So I'm just gonna do half his video here and half his video in the other one, which actually works out because this video is the 50 examples on how gay marriage affects society. Brought to you by the same channel that brought us this.
Don't propagate your hate, because I have a higher standard on who you date.
Actually, that's not entirely true. This video was actually done by her father. Yes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Or the tree just picks up the apples and squishes them. So with all that said and done, let's get started.
This is representing truth.
Really? Neo? Is that how you guys see yourselves? A select group of chosen ones rising up to protect us little people from the evil machine of gay equality? Because I talk to evil machines on literally a daily basis. And so far, the only message they're trying to convey is kill all humans. There really isn't anything in there about homosexuals or anything. Just kill all humans. It's a very conservative, yet open-minded platform.
And in this video, I will give 50 examples of how same-sex marriage affects society.
What he really means to say is get ready for 50 really bullshit homophobic statements told to us in a snotty, condescending tone. And I, for one, can't wait.
Or should I say, poisons it. When this question is asked to people, they seem to stop in their tracks.
What question? You didn't really give us the opening question. All you said was, here's 50 reasons I don't like gay people. That's not really a question.
Well, I plan to put a stop on that and give the proper evidence that it does affect society.
It's cute because he thinks he has evidence.
So without further ado, let's go. Example 1. Man divorces his wife. Yeah, that happens in any divorce. There's a lot of pain. But how much more is it when you find out that your husband is queer? Talk about rejection. That's example number 1.
Yeah, divorce happens, but what does that example have anything to do with gay marriage? He could have gotten divorced for any number of reasons. Maybe he got divorced because of financial issues. Or he's a jerk. Or she's a jerk. They can happen for any number of reasons. And while I'm sure there have been some divorces because the guy finds out he's gay later in life, I fail to see how that has anything to do with gay marriage.
Example number 2 is putting salt on the wounds. A man divorces his wife, and the queers celebrate, say, "Oh, dude, you're being true to yourself," while that wife is devastated. And this is what you want others to embrace. How sickening.
All right, let's go ahead and start keeping score. We're looking at 0 over here and 2 over here. First off, if the guy divorces his wife and starts celebrating while she's like suffering in a gutter somewhere, then yeah, it doesn't matter what orientation he is, he's an asshole. But again, divorces happen even without gay marriage. And even in your example, you don't link the two together. So yeah, 0 to 2 here, man. Let's see number 3.
Example number 3, a husband and a father. He decides, oh, he really is a woman. Well, guess who's the first one affected? It's the spouse.
All right, 0 to 3, because once again, nothing to do with gay marriage. It's the guy realizing some kind of deep personal issue later in life, which happens regardless of gay marriage. Come on, I'm waiting for your examples. You got like 47 to make up for this.
Number 4, confusing role model. Oh, this is pretty obvious. Yeah, daddy. Now, my daddy is a she. Yeah, right. Really good modeling there going on, don't you think?
What does that have to do with gay marriage? 0 to 4. That's a sexual identification issue, not a legal status of gay marriage issue.
Number 5, that kid, because of what his dad did, becoming a woman, becomes a punching bag at school. And you might say, well, hey, that happens all the time. Yes, but there's something different. The parent is allowing this to happen, and it's making it available for the other kids to do something very bad to that kid.
So really, your argument is, see, if you have a parent that becomes another gender, well, people like me and my kids, we're gonna go beat up on your kids. Seriously, in this example, you're the fucking problem. And again, what does this have to do with gay marriage? Not a goddamn thing. 0 to 5.
Number 6, it will affect a brother or sister if they have one. Can you imagine this particular conversation? Hey, how's Sam, your brother, doing? What should be the response? She's doing fine? Talk about stupidity at its finest.
Oh, really? You want to talk about stupidity? Because that's 0 to 6. First off, nothing to do with gay marriage. Second off, if your brother or sister or any family member's having some kind of sexual identity issue, here's a thought. Why don't you keep it private until they're ready to tell others?
What a predicament a parent is put in. This is number 7. When their son or daughter says, hey, I'm not your daughter, I am your son. Talk about an embarrassment to the family. It's called sexual confusion, and that is not logical.
0 to 7 and fuck you, dickhead. Way to try and be there for your kids. What, you're having some kind of sexual identity issue? You an embarrassment to this here family. Hey, I'm just saying that because I's a loving father.
Number 8, our neighbor next door, the girl that used to play with our daughter. She got in high school and lo and behold, she believes now she is a man. So there is another example of how this stuff gets affected very personally.
0 to 8. My God, what does that have to do with gay marriage? Your video is entitled 50 examples on how gay marriage affects society. So far, even if the next bunch of them are spot on topic, that's only 42. And you know what else? Fuck you for getting into someone else's business. If she's having sexual identity issues, it's none of your goddamn business. Why don't you be there for your own kids? Oh wait, I forgot. With your attitude, they're probably afraid to talk to you about it. Afraid you're gonna kick them out of their house.
Number 9, I call name changing. This same neighbor, her, that thinks she's a he, came over during my son's graduation party and wanted to be with the guys. My wife called her by her name that we have known her for the last 5 years, and she was offended. And you say this stuff doesn't affect anybody? Fat chance.
So because you disrespected them, probably after they told you the name they'd like to be referred to from now on, you turn right around and say, this here be confusing. We don't respect you around here, boy, girl, boy. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna get back to rolling around in the mud. Oh, and once again, 0 to 9.
Number 10, coworkers are affected. Come on, if you work in a certain environment under close conditions, your coworkers just may be a little more leery how they bend down. It's true. Some people think that way, maybe not all, but these are ways in which it will affect society.
Jesus Christ, you're already in a nosedive. 0 to 10. So let me get this perfectly clear. You say that because of gay marriage, gays in workplace. Well, guess what, dipshit? There's already gay people in the workplace. Deal with it. And I'm sorry, your little homophobic brain can't stand to do whatever it is that you do at your job in front of them.
Number 11, queers starting families. In a natural, impossible. Maybe through a relative, maybe through adoption, maybe through artificial means, or through a heterosexual relationship. But by themselves, it is impossible. The only way a queer family can be is to take from the family. That's why it's against the family. It can only take, but it cannot give.
So then, according to you, adoption is taking from a family. Huh. You know, I never would have thought stupid like that. First off, how is it taking away from a family to give a child a loving home? That seems like it adds to a family. But I suppose all those orphans really could be better served in a factory. You know, learning a trade and not having a childhood. It worked out in the 1910s! But aside from that, who the fuck are you to judge what a real family is anyway? According to the sources I gathered, you spend a lot of your time trolling other people on the internet and convincing your daughter to do the same. What a loving parent! But I will give you this. Your argument does actually have a little itty bitty tiny little connection to gay marriage. And because I'm a lenient and kind person, I'll give you a 1. Yeah, a whole 1 out of 10.
Number 12. 2 Christian doctors are sued because a lesbian is not helped by them to have children artificially. And I'm sure the radical queer agenda thinks this is wonderful. I guess freedom of religion must bow to the radical gay agenda. That is number 12.
And I guess the Hippocratic Oath doesn't matter to you either. But yeah, it really shouldn't matter what the doctor's personal beliefs are. If he wants to work at a religious hospital, he should go work at a religious hospital. But if he wants to work in the real world, with actual people, then yeah, he can't discriminate. I mean, shit, let's flip this example around. Let's say we have an ultra-atheist doctor who refuses to do artificial insemination on a straight Christian couple. Because we don't need no more of them there Christians. Well then, yeah, that Christian couple has the right to sue his ass for everything he's got. Just like that lesbian couple has the right to sue that doctor. Discrimination is discrimination. But, you did say lesbian couple. And because couple implies the 2 people are together, and because marriage also implies that, I'll give you a 2.
Example 13, redefining marriage. I remember when we lost our mom, she was 59 years of age. My dad got remarried. That lady became my stepmother. Though my dad would never do such a thing, hypothetically, if my dad were to marry a man, what will we call the man?
I don't know. How about stepfather?
For all you idiots out there to say, well, duh, that's his partner, you have to understand one thing. It's hard enough adjusting to a new wife of your dad, but what would a little kid call the other man? That is pure confusion, and it's very illogical in my view.
He would call him stepfather, you dipshit.
Number 14, Christians getting demonized. And my first example is this. They believe that it is an abomination to have same-sex marriage. But Muslims also believe that, and yet it seems, at least in my view, that the majority of Muslims are not picked on and called bigots and homophobes, but only the Christians. So why do you favor your criticism to Christians but not to Muslims, if you really believe that Christians are so evil?
While it may seem on the surface that this is a gay marriage issue, truth is, it's more of an honesty issue. Fact is, if you're real serious about this equality stuff, then it shouldn't matter who the hell's saying it. Be they Christian, atheist, Muslim, Buddhist, or what the fuck ever. If they are for the oppression of any group of people, then yeah, they're in the wrong. Now, where of course you get it wrong, is that you assume that people are only going after the Christians. Not true. There are multiple groups that oppose gay marriage. Fact is, though, Christians make up the vast majority of them, and consequently are the most vocal.
Number 15. The trick question, designed to either shut you down or make you look stupid. Here's the example. When did you choose to be straight? That's why I need to address this. See, if you buy an iPhone, and I'm an Android user myself, there's only one operating system you're going to get on that phone, which is iOS. That's the way Apple did it by default. So when someone buys an iPhone, they don't choose that operating system because it's on by default. Now, if someone jailbreaks their iPhone and puts something else on it, then that is a choice. It's the same thing whether you want to use God, nature, evolution, whatever you want to use. Remember, by default, you have male organs that fit in female organs. Do you get the picture yet?
Oh, look at that, it's 3 to 12. Okay, first off, the human mind is way different from a fucking smartphone, okay? A lot of different things can affect it. In utero conditions, personal experiences, genetics. Whereas nearly every iPhone is identical with the same exact operating system loaded onto each one. So yeah, your example fails on a fundamental level. And that question still stands. When the hell did you choose to be straight?
Number 15 was a trick question. This now is a trick statement. Usually when someone's in sin, they usually say, "Don't judge me. Who are you to judge? But if you examine that statement, then one should question this. How do you know someone is judging you unless you've made a judgment yourself that they are judging you? And this whole particular statement is meant to shut someone down. It's meant to silence their opposition. And that's what the radical queer agenda attempts to do.
What? You can't know I'm judging you unless you've judged me that I am judging you. Well, gee, what the fuck would make them think you're judging them? Could it be your personal behavior? Your Westboro Baptist Church-esque view of homosexuality? Ah, but I forgot. They should just keep their mouths shut. And not question any of the blatantly homophobic, segregationist, and egotistical viewpoints you're trying to cram down their throat. They should just accept it because, after all, if they dare try and say that you're judging them or trying to force your own morality on a group of people that don't want it, oh my god, they're judging you! And really, where the hell do they get off judging the people who have been actively trying to suppress them for the past 50 years?
Example 17. A bunch of lesbians decided to go to a church in Michigan and have the audacity to throw condoms in the sanctuary.
Oh my god, condoms?
Now, if you're not religious, I would think someone would respect something. You know, Christians are usually accused of shoving things down people's throats. But to defile a sanctuary like that just shows how low in the gutter this radical queer agenda really is.
Jesus Christ, why did they make them have to deal with condoms? I mean, it's not like you guys have ever firebombed anything, or blown anything up, or lynched anybody, or beaten anybody to death. No, you're sweet and innocent and perfect and have never, ever done anything wrong. But my god, condoms? Holy shit! They're littering! Don't they understand that pollution affects the... Oh, right, no it doesn't. I forgot global warming's a huge scam made by us liberals to eventually take over the world and destroy all Christians. God, I keep forgetting the Illuminati handbook on all this. Where the fuck did I put it?
Number 18, an outlet for hatred. Just go on Apologetics, my daughter's account, and you will see many hateful comments directed toward her.
Alright, once again, it has nothing to do with gay marriage, so add a point here. But what he brings up is actually a pretty fair point. I understand people, especially smart ones, disagree with her message, but please try to be respectful. Don't send her fucking death threats.
This is a perfect excuse because they can't really pick on the blacks anymore because that would be a racist. So what do? They demonize Christians, and it becomes their outlet to be hateful. And they do a very good job of it. But like Star Wars, you remember when you had Darth Vader trying to get his son to come over to the dark side? We say, no way, and you can go pound sand.
I don't remember Luke Skywalker saying that to Darth Vader.
Number 19. If same-sex marriage became the law federally, not just with the states, it is said that they would have over 1,000 rights and provisions. I'm not going to argue with that because the video that I am presenting is dealing with how same-sex marriage will affect society. Now, some of those particular rights and privileges, the only way you can get it, you have to interact, like social services or welfare or insurance, etc., etc., etc. You have to interact with society. And because of that, it does affect society. That's my point.
They're already out and about in society. What, are you saying that gay people need to be locked up in houses? They should only come out at night? And even then stay to the darkest corridors and alleyways of society? What the fuck is that? What, they need to bury themselves? They need to make sure that us good and pure straight people don't even notice them? I would say an attitude like that would have a far more detrimental effect on society than gay marriage.
Number 20, a son or daughter decides to come out and say they are homosexual. You get the picture, it affects the family, friends, etc. That is number 20.
Wait a minute, didn't you already say that? So no score on either side, it's already been said. Although if I was to score, I'd put it over here. Because like the majority of the bullshit that you've said, it has nothing to do with gay marriage. And so what if the kid comes out? What, do you want him to live in the closet for the rest of his life? Or would you rather him self-deport? Would you like that instead?
Number 21, change of perspective. Basically those that were staunch against this particular issue are now all for this particular issue. I agree that we should love our kids unconditionally.
No. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you really believe that we live in a society where you needed to love your kids unconditionally, then you would not support a society in which if they turned out to be gay, they would be treated like a subhuman. You would not support a society in which your son or daughter would be forced to live in the shadows because of something they could not control.
But we are not to accept their actions unconditionally. If your son is stealing, if he's lying, if he's cheating, if he's a drunk, we should not accept those actions. What we do is we love them through those actions. And there is power to change, but the radical queer agenda has made that a lie that people have bought into.
You cannot equate homosexuality to theft, drunkenness, or murder. Those are all things that, for the most part, are a direct result of that person's actions. Homosexuality is not a choice, and to judge your son or daughter based on something they cannot control is the epitome of being a bad parent.
Number 22, not a blessed wedding day. And I'm speaking of the norm, not the exception. Many of the same-sex couples that get married do so with only a few people involved. They do not have the joy of having many family and friends come to their wedding. They truly don't have that acceptance, and they never will have that acceptance, no matter how hard they try to push it down our throats. And that's a sad thing, because a wedding day should be something joyful and happy, but they can never experience the true joy that comes in a real wedding.
All right, point on this side, although really I should put another restated point here because this is another example of how you're the problem. First of all, gay weddings are already equal to straight weddings. They already get large groups of family members and friends that come in to wish them well on that day. But you know, I bet more than a few of them have had to deal with people like you. You know, the people who don't go and then send a big long letter explaining how they're sinful and they're evil and they're going to hell. How dare you express your love to somebody? I hate you, you ain't nothing to me, derp a her. And to those people I say, fuck you. Society's grown up without you. We are going to look back on people like you the same way we look back on people who don't attend mixed race weddings, because, my nerd, they shouldn't be mixing the races. God made different races for a reason. To have different flavors. You got vanilla, chocolate, lime, and cherry. And vanilla cherry doesn't taste good unless it's vanilla cherry Coke.
Number 23, the father giving away the bride. In a same-sex wedding, this can never happen.
Unless it's a lesbian wedding.
Because with two males or two females in a wedding, the father can never have that joy that he would have had it been a real wedding.
Why wouldn't the parent just be happy with their son or daughter being happy? You know, knowing that they're in love with that other person and that knowing that they're engaged in a mutual, loving, beneficial relationship. No, because they're demons? Right, forgot. Demons.
Number 24, another thing that takes away from the family, and it will affect certain fathers.
Certain uncaring asshole fathers.
See, I did give away my daughter, but I didn't gain my daughter's partner. I gained a son.
So really, marriage isn't so much about love to you as it is more about personal gain and property. I feel really bad for your daughter. That it would really matter so much that you gained a son. That would be your number one priority. Not that your daughter's happy or that she's in a loving relationship with someone. No, it's all about getting that son and getting that heir. And making sure that that heir to your property is of your own blood. Because that's all that matters. This message brought to you by the Middle Ages.
Number 25.
Oh, thank God this is almost over because my voice is like really about to go out here.
Chick-fil-A. Okay, so how many regular couples do you know make out at any restaurant?
Tons, man. Like, literally all of them.
But the queers really gotta show their moral standards, not by a guy kissing another guy, but that same guy kissing more than one. My daughter and I watched it, and we saw how totally disrespectful to families they are, and they want us to embrace them. I don't think so.
That's not being disrespectful to families, that's mocking you. And you know what? They have every right to do that, given the attitude you have towards them. It's called a protest. And I'm glad you can judge an entire group for being immoral when really all they're doing is standing up for their rights. And you know what else? Just because a group of people are doing that in front of you, doesn't mean that there aren't gay couples that practice monogamy. And to be honest, I would feel more comfortable seeing a bunch of people kissing in front of me than I would seeing these assholes. So let's take a look at the score. 6? You couldn't even break 10 in your first 25, let alone 25 out of 25. I can't wait to get to 25 through 50, so look forward to part 2 coming out soon. Anyway, as always, this is Cute Fuzzy Weasel, and if you have any trolls you want me to feed, list them in the comments below. Have a good day, and I'll see you in part 2. Wait. Oh God! Oh yeah, it was actually pretty safe. You know what? Screw this. Let's just dump a bunch of on the pizza.